Thanks, Matt. So yeah, I'm Barry Keenan, the CEO of Nervonik. I want to thank everybody for staying behind until the end, particularly those that I didn't have to bribe. So today I'm going to be going through our neuromodulation technology. So it's a neuromodulation platform, and I'll tell you about our future plans. So the bioelectronic medicine market is exploding. I mean, it's poised for significant growth. There's no doubt about that. But the current technologies are just not suitable for peripheral nerve stimulation. Here you can see a picture of fluor or X-ray of a spinal cord stimulator. Clearly you can see it's a big, bulky device. To the left is a device which uses wireless power transfer. And what that means is the power is transmitted from outside to a small implant inside the body. Now the implant is a micro implant because you don't have a battery. It can be extremely small, much smaller than today's technology. With that comes many benefits, particularly the surgical procedure. Not only is it a lot cheaper, the device is a lot cheaper, the surgical procedure is a lot cheaper. It can be an outpatient procedure that takes 20 to 30 minutes in comparison to your spinal cord stimulator type device, which requires general anesthetic, a cath lab, etc. And this is much more congruent with where we're going with the value-based healthcare system. So these are three of the devices that are on the market currently that utilize wireless power transfer. We'll be the fourth coming to the market, and we are a 16th of the size of the smallest peripheral nerve stimulation device out there that uses a battery, and that's a rechargeable battery. With a primary battery, they're even larger. So our first generation is shown here. We've tested it in several animal experiments, and we took it to doctors, the pain doctors, and said, "What do you think of it?" They liked it. They liked the size, and they liked the fact that you could power it externally to depths, right beside deep nerves. However, when we asked them, what the patients want, what the pain doctors want, what is the most important aspect of this, and they said the wearable. The patient wearable has to be extremely small. At least get it as small as possible so it's discreet. And the patients are going to adhere to the therapy. So that's what we've developed in our second generation, is a device that the lead goes closer to the surface. It has a coin-shaped design, which collects a lot more energy, and it allows for a smaller wearable device. The natural progression of this platform is to a spinal cord stimulator and a occipital nerve stimulator for the treatment of migraine, which we're working on. We're also partnered with UCLA, developing a sensing IC. So this sensing IC will detect neural behavior, neural signals, ECAPs to be exact, and it'll feed that information back, and that'll allow us to fine-tune the therapy so that you keep your therapy, within the therapeutic window. So the market is growing, as I said. These devices are mostly 510K devices, so class 2. And what that means is generally with the easy procedure, they're going to come sooner on the treatment continuum. So the continuum of care, you'll be able to the pain doctors can recommend these devices, prescribe these devices as potentially as an alternative to opioids. Whereas for the spinal cord stimulators, the bigger devices, you really have to fail drug therapy before you're going to be prescribed one of those devices. Now, these markets are growing incredibly fast. We're going after pain first, so peripheral nerve stimulation for neuropathic pain of peripheral origin. Now, that market we know is growing incredibly fast, and it's biting into the spinal cord stimulation market. Now, we're also going to go after the spinal cord stimulation market. It's just a natural progression, and as we evolve our platform. Now, that market is a mammoth. I mean, that's going to be close to $6 billion in less than 4 years. The big three are very active in that market. However, they don't have a device that exploits wireless power transfer, so nothing that has this kind of form factor. We're also looking at occipital nerve stimulation for migraine. Now, the big three have tried this because it's such a big market, but they've all failed their pivotal trials. And interestingly, some of the pivotal trials attained the efficacy endpoint, but they failed due to adverse event rates. So they failed from a safety perspective. Now, we've designed a device that fits right in here for occipital nerve stimulation. So it's right in the middle of the neck. It doesn't require leads coming up to the area to treat the occipital nerves. And that's exactly what the problem was for the devices out there. So we're excited to be the first to be going after, potentially be the first on the market for that market. So it's all about the external control unit. It's got to be small, right? For the patient, the patient has to be comfortable to adhere to it. It has to be able to get into the location where you need to put it, and you don't want to be wearing a big bulky thing that others can see. Now, the other devices, the other wireless power transfer devices out there, suffer from a similar problem as the current technology. They're smaller implants. They're not as big as the other technologies, but they have a big external controller to power the device inside. Now, we spoke to a number of pain doctors, some of the biggest implanters of peripheral nerve stimulators, and this is what they told us: get the wearable down as small as possible, and that's what we're doing. So this is just showing you side by side of our features compared to the devices that are out there. Now, you got to look at the wearable, right? That was number one. We want to get the wearable as small as possible. We're a fraction of the size of the other devices out there. The implants are all pretty much the same size, give or take. We're also working on digital health. That's going to be another offering, and closed loop will be coming along. So we hope to be the first to ever do closed loop with a peripheral nerve stimulator. So why is a form factor so important? Well, as I mentioned before, small is essential for anything that a patient's wearing. Take carpal tunnel, right? I mean, how do you treat the nerves of the upper extremities? With these big devices, you can wear a watch, simple, and you can power the implant that's in those locations. I talked about chronic headache. I talked about migraine. This is the only device that will be able to go up there and won't suffer from all the adverse events that the big three have suffered from. And of course, our device, because it's small, it can also control multiple implants. It can actually control up to 16 with one external device, but you only really need 4 or 5. But neuropathic knee and shoulder injury are classic examples where you need more than one implant to treat multiple nerves at the same time. This has been in development for quite some time in academia, probably close to 10 years. Over $5 million has been spent on non-dilutive funding. 9 patent applications out there. It's been well published, and it's in product development now. So I just mentioned that we're through Gen 1 and Gen 2. The rest of the year is going to be product development. We want to get this finished and hopefully submit with the FDA either Q4 or Q1 next year. We actually have our Q-sub with the FDA this month. So we're seeking $6 to $10 million in funding for Series A, and that's to take us all the way through product development and also through commercialization and also to continue development on the platform for the spinal cord stimulation and the occipital nerve stimulation indications. So we have a great team that's been working on this to take us this far. Series A, we'll be bringing on some FTEs, so we're some key hires that we've already identified, and we'll be hiring as soon as we close the round of funding, and things are going well. So I want to thank you for your time, and I look forward to talking further with anyone that wants to have further discussions in the breakout room. Thank you.